Decisions, making decisions. I've got a lot of things that I want to do, a lot of things that I want to achieve. And only a limited amount of time. I won't go into everything, but some of the main things are like filmmaking, like making short films and making high quality YouTube videos. Also making like a kind of like try and make it like professional, have this kind of like branding kind of thing, or really just like a website with like all my creative shit uploaded onto it. There's music, making music, writing music, playing in a band. There's health, like eating the right food and whatever. There's fitness, lots of things in fitness, like strength, speed, endurance, like flexibility, parkour, calisthenics, things like this. There's money, so my ideal situation would be to do a lot of upfront work on passive income, and then just let it go and the money keeps rolling in, right? There's writing, and like writing some philosophical shit, or like whatever. Just lots of shit, man. And the main one is meditation and awakening. And then there's things like traveling, improving my social skills. There are so many areas of life to improve on and to experience and explore. And it's like, what are you going to put your energy into? Because the more things you have, like, for instance, say this cup is like the goal that you have, and say, right, you got this little thing that you're putting into this cup each day, right? You're training or practicing a skill, which is the tea in this teaspoon. And each day you put a little drop in, and that's building up this mug. And when the mug is full of tea, then you've mastered a skill, right? Or at least you've mastered it to the extent that you want it. So you can do that. You can do that if you've got one skill, But what happens when you got another one? Cultivating a skill, there's one, right? Cultivating this, practicing a skill, there's another. Imagine if you've got hundreds of these cups. You're never gonna fucking master anything. Like, you're gonna be like a jack of all trades, but it's like, is that what you want? Or you want to master something? It takes a dedication and time hard work to master any skill that you want to master. And what do you want to master, or what do you want to get good at? What do you want for your life? And this is my dilemma, because I've got a lot of shit that I want to kind of experience and do, and it's like, where do I start? Because it's I could plan something. I could write a list down and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this for a few years, then I'm gonna do this for a few years, and whatever. But there's this thing of like this fear of missing out, and my priorities change on a day-to-day basis. And also, like, again, like, you're not always gonna be wanting to do something like, because I got all these cups going on, I got all these cups. Each day, all I have to do is tune into my intuition of what cup I want to focus on, and then I just do that. So one day I might be really into awakening. I might meditate. That might be my main focus for that day. I might meditate a few hours a day. But then the next day I might be like, oh yeah, like I want to focus on passive income or whatever, and I'll do some work on that. And the next day I'll be like, oh, I want to make a short film, and I'll be working on a script. And all this kind of shit, and it's just like, I got all these cups, I'm filling in a little bit each time, but it's like, like, I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. In a sense, it's good because you don't have to force yourself to do something that you don't want to do, which usually results in you feeling burnt out. Like, usually, if you wake up, you're like, oh, I've got to do this grind. I've got to work on this project, even though I don't want to. I'd rather go for a run, or I'd rather sit in the park and meditate. But no, I've got to do this project. You're kind of forcing yourself to do something, and like, you may want to do this project, but it may not be like what you want to do that day. Like, maybe you want to do it the next day. Like, you never know what you're gonna feel when you wake up. So it is kind of good having all these cups to be like, okay, yeah, what do I want to do today? Let me just tune into what's to come through me. Oh yeah, maybe I'll write a song, just play some guitar. Maybe I'll go out in the park and meditate. Like, it's good having that. But I don't know, man. Just expressing some thoughts here. Because there are some things that you can do that don't really require a lot of time, and you can stay consistent with them. For instance, say like working out. Like, you can just set the routine of working out like 3 times a week, and just stay consistent with that. It's not something you have to put a lot of time in. It's like 3 hours a week. It's all you got. Like, but then there's something like filmmaking. Like, if you're making it, or like a YouTube video. If you're making a YouTube video and you start doing it, you do it for a couple of days, but then like you start doing something else that you enjoy. And you come back to that video like a week later and you're like, oh, I'm not really into it as much as I was before. And like there are things of there are things that you got to put in, like if you have some kind of goal, what am I trying to say? Like if you have a big goal, you got to make that your priority in a way. Like for instance, like if you have the goal of like being successful on YouTube, and you want to upload a high quality video every week, that's gonna take up like all your time. That's gonna be the one thing that you have to focus on and you have to get done. And you see, comparing this to say like working out, like I guess what I'm really talking about is just like how much time things take. Like if you want to like build an aesthetic physique or get strong or whatever, really like you only need to spend like 3 to 6 hours a week to achieve that goal, and you just stay consistent. Whereas this YouTube thing, like really you gotta like at least 6 hours a day, every day. So there are, I guess, I'm just like trying to figure this out in my head as I talk, but I guess what I'm saying is like some goals are going to require a lot more time than others. And then there's also the factor of like how much, what what's the degree of like, how much benefit are you getting out of it? How long is it going to take to actually get something like it may take 1 year to reach your goal of an aesthetic physique by working out 3 times a week or whatever. But it may take like 10 years to reach your goal in like passive income or YouTube channel or whatever. But both require consistent time, and like, I don't know, man. And a lot of things like you need like momentum. Like it's detrimental if you start and stop, keep starting and stopping. For instance, like if you're writing a script and you're really in the flow vibe of it, you're writing it for like a couple days straight, and you're like, fuck yeah, this is good. And then you leave it for a week and you come back and you're like, oh, what was I can't really remember what I was getting at here. Like, I mean, yeah, you've written it all down, but it's like, when you're in that flow, you come up with all these ideas, they're just coming. But now you come back and you're like, what did I want to achieve with this film? And like, you have to really kind of build that momentum up again. And especially with something like meditation, where it's very much so, like if you're meditating and then doing like business kind of work, where you really have to use like this kind of logical left brain, that fucks up the momentum. Like if you're meditating for like a couple hours, and then you go try and do this business stuff, and then you go meditate for another couple hours. Like, it's really, you really have to, you're switching modes of how you use your brain in a way, and it's you have to build up that momentum again. Whereas if you just kept meditating, then that momentum would already be there, and you wouldn't have to, start from square one, so to speak. So there's all these factors I'm thinking about, and I just don't know what to goddamn do. Because then there's this other thing where it's just like, I'm not in control of what is gonna, like, what I'm gonna be inspired by from day to day, I may wake up and be like, I'm so inspired to make a film, but, like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Another thing that comes to mind is like, how much benefit is it going to bring to my life? So, when I think of like making short films, it's like, what's actually going to benefit my life there? Like, nothing really. Like, purely for just creative expression. It's like I make a film, I put it out there, and it's like, okay, like nothing really changed in my life. Like, nothing really is benefiting my life from that. But then if you compare it to, say, like, if I'm working on a business or a passive income thing, then it's like, obviously the benefit there is that I get more money, and then I've got more opportunities to do shit in life. I can go traveling, or whatever. I can get healthier food. That's going to benefit my physical well-being, so I'm going to feel better overall. So yeah, because filmmaking has been like a prominent thing like throughout most of my life, and to kind of push it under the rug a bit, to try to kind of like put it in the peripheral is kind of disheartening to me in a sense. Like, it's kind of like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to do that. It's like, I can't just like focus on all this other shit and like put filmmaking like in the background. I'll have a look at that like in a decade or some shit. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I can't do that, like. But at the same time, it's like, why do I need to fucking make short films? Like, yeah, like, it's fun, and I can express my creativity and share some meaningful things, that whatever, make a story and blah 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 blah. like when it comes down to actually the actual quality of living, really making a short film or anything creative is should only be there for like purely for just creative expression. It's not the healthy thing. My storage is running out, so this may end soon. But yeah, man. So just some thoughts. Purely only relevant to me, but whatever. So yeah, it's you know, logically speaking, it would be best to say like work on these practical things, like these things that are gonna make my life better. Like getting money, exercising, meditating. And but yeah, I think meditation is the big one. Meditation and awakening, like that's the skill of all skills. I think that one's gonna, that one's just the one, man. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what how you decide how to do shit, and if you have lots of interests or whatever. I'll see you later.